A lot of people have been wonderful and supportive over the last 2 years in the Fulton County case that I was involved in with Fani Willis and the prosecution of Donald Trump. And I wanted to give everyone kind of a quick update because we had some pretty major news last week. The Supreme Court of Georgia ruled that they were not going to hear Fani Willis's appeal. And a lot of people are like, what does that mean? And while I would love to rant about what it means, I'm going to kind of try to explain what it means and where we go from here. So if you haven't followed along, Fani Willis tried to prosecute President Donald Trump and a lot of other gentlemen, female also, and my client, Mike Roman, who was one of the election day campaign workers who got sort of brought in when there was this large racketeering net cast in Atlanta, Georgia, in a RICO prosecution. We were able to bring a motion to disqualify the prosecutor because the prosecutor was sleeping with his boss and paying a lot of money for the job of trying to prosecute the president and all of these other members of the team. So we were able to get that prosecutor disqualified at the Court of Appeals level. What happened was we had a hearing. I think a lot of people watched it. We had a couple days worth of a hearing, and the judge said, you know what, it wasn't okay. It was really bad, actually, but I'm not going to get rid of her. I'm going to get rid of him. So we appealed that to the Court of Appeals, and the Court of Appeals luckily said, you know what, nope, gotta go. It's not okay. The whole team has to go. You need a neutral prosecutor, which is what we asked for all along, because I firmly believed that when we had a fair shot, they would all see that my client had not committed any crime and that this wasn't a criminal case at all, but this was a political prosecution. I always thought that. And so we got the Court of Appeals to agree with us. And unfortunately, Fani Willis couldn't just say, you know what, I messed up, let's move on. Let's let someone else actually look at this case. And she appealed it to the Supreme Court. Luckily, last week, the Supreme Court, in a very contentious split decision, which does not ever happen, I will note, they rarely ever even issue an opinion on a cert issue. And what we mean by cert is sort of, an appeal. It's just another word for an appeal. They don't usually issue an opinion. They usually say yes or no. But this time, they issued a very lengthy opinion. They had dissents, they had concurrence, they had lots of different reasonings. But the gist of it was, you know what, you messed up. Shouldn't have happened. We're not going to let you keep prosecuting it. And what does that mean at the end of the day? That means that we're finally going to have a neutral prosecutor who we fully believe is not going to think that a crime happened.